So thank you very much. I'll skip all the technical details so you can see what's going on. Can you see my slides, my presentation?
Yes.
Okay, great. So as said, I'm Tηλε from the Joint Research Center of the European Commission. This is a presentation I've developed with my colleague Francesco Carreri. As we are Commission officials, let me start with a disclaimer that this does not necessarily reflect the views of the European Union, and the responsibility lies with the authors. And the disclaimer helps my job security, so I think it's the most important one. For those who may not be familiar, the Joint Research Center is the European Commission's in-house science and knowledge service. We have about 3,000 staff in 6 sites in 5 member states, with about 75% of the staff being scientists and researchers. And if you search the Energy Press Archive, you can find many references to our reports and our activities. So I wanted to discuss a bit the projects of the energy projects of common interest, just to go quickly through what they are and what's coming in the next months. So these are infrastructure projects with cross-border impacts who can benefit from accelerated permitting procedures. It's something we've been listening about all day long about the slow permitting procedures. So those infrastructure projects which are included in the PCI list do have accelerated permitting, and they are also eligible, but not necessarily will receive it for funding. And for the MMF for 21-27, there is 5.84 billion euros available. There's a new PCI list every 2 years. The current one was developed in 2021. The next one is in 2023. So just to say, the current PCI list, the 5th list as we say, it has 67 projects in electricity, 20 in gas, 5 smart electricity grids, and 6 cross-border carbon dioxide networks. So the map here is quite busy. This is intentional to show that the PCIs cover most of Europe and in many categories. And the links below can lead you to these maps. For Greece, there are quite a few projects. I can reference the hydro pump storage in Amphilochia, the IGB interconnection between Komotini and Strara Zagora, the Aegean LNG terminal, TAP, Eurasia, and some others. You might notice that there are quite a few on gas, so the yellow color refers to gas projects. But we're going to a new revised 10E regulation, so the regulation that determines the procedures for selecting the PCIs. Well, we will no longer have gas or oil projects, except for those that concern Cyprus and Malta. There will be a grandfathering, as I say, and projects that are already in the 5th list can receive accelerated permitting for years after the adoption of the 5th list. So what's new in the 10E regulation? So the new things are the mandatory sustainability criteria for our PCIs, and this is very important that this is what we have now. The new 10E aims to facilitate the integration of renewable sources. I also added here the non-binding cooperation in the field of offshore grid planning because Secretary General Zdrugu 2 sessions ago made some references here. So here, offshore grids will be part of the ENSOE TYNDP. So it's non-binding cooperation, but this being part of the TYNDP can accelerate the procedures. We have new infrastructure categories. So the infrastructure categories for the next list, 2023, are carbon dioxide networks and storage, electricity transmission and storage, electrolyzers and hydrogen. This is a new one. Smart electricity grids and smart gas grids to incorporate all that hydrogen. So I'm going to skip the technical details just to mention that the electrolyzers need to have at least 50 megawatt capacity, either a single electrolyzer or a set of electrolyzers that form one single project. And for hydrogen, the emphasis is to incorporate hydrogen from renewables, especially for end-use applications, mostly in those sectors where you cannot really achieve much with energy efficiency. So I'll skip the technical. So what does the GRC do? We are developing or updating the methodologies, and we also assist in the ranking and provide direct assistance to the TENI groups. Those familiar with the process have already seen us. We've been there since the beginning. So what is important for you, the audience? Apart from those who will be the project promoters, there will be public consultations, other methodologies. Hopefully these will start in mid-September this year. And a public consultation on the candidates that should come late this year, early next year. So we look forward to your opinions on this, to your inputs on the methodologies and the candidates. So you can be part of this procedure no matter who you are. You can have an impact. Finally, since we're talking about what you can do, I'd like to advertise a new initiative by DG Energy, which is called the Investors Dialogue on Energy. So DG Energy is looking for experts from energy and finance sectors to assess and update the financing schemes to mobilize financing in the context of the European Green Deal, So financing. Those who know the financing schemes are quite a few. You have the PCIs, the PMIs, the IPCEI. So somehow we need to streamline all these. So these are the 5 categories and the 5 working groups, and DGNR is looking for 20 experts to represent academia, consortia, organizations, even associations and companies. So those who are willing and interested, please, the application is by the 10th of April. If you either follow these links or you search for Investors Dialogue on Energy, you will arrive to this page. If not, that's my email and you can send me an email. So I'll stop here. Thank you very much.